Alrighty, folks, as mentioned on the daily financial news for January 10th, I had a great interview with Omar talking about growing a footprint, a brand, talking about the fastest pace, fastest way to wealth. And one of the things that was important for me to pull out that conversation is what could I do as a W 2 employee? So what we're going to do today with Bo, the small business concierge, is talk about what can you do as a full-time employee and have income streams on the side. All righty, Bo, this is something I love to talk about. What do you got?
So yeah, I mean, let's just dive into kind of some of the things I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about, of course, vending. We talked about laundry on a previous episode. Laundromats, vending, dry cleaning businesses. Um, those, I really like vending. I really do, and I think anybody can do a vending business. I mean, that's not rocket science. The really thing is you get the right machine and you get the right location with the right foot traffic. If you're getting into like high traffic areas like schools, I think that could be very lucrative. Like we had talked in a previous episode, I was making 2 or 3 grand per machine net
Mhm.
from being in those high traffic areas. Now, the average is probably they do a thousand to 1,300 in revenue on a okay location, but that is a great business. I like laundromats. Not sure that's for everybody. Not sure I'll ever buy one, but I would say that it would be a promising business. I like another business I was looking at is the rental. I like rental businesses. So I
Mm,
was looking at they're like porta pots, but they're luxury porta pots. They're
mhm.
luxury bathrooms. They come on a trailer. They're for events, and I get a lot of these ideas because I talk to all these business owners. So these two this guy called me, and it's his two nephews. They bought like a 4 stall mobile luxury bathroom.
Mhm.
They're in Florida. They advertise on Facebook Marketplace, and they're getting like $1,200, $800 to $1,200, depending on how many stalls at the bathroom per day for a rental,
Wow.
right? And you can buy these things for anywhere from 25 to $40,000, depending on what you do. So I like that business. I like something that you can leverage with financing. You can get some kind of
Mhm.
financing or auto loan or RV type of loan on that, and then you can go out, advertise, and then
Yep.
wedding events. There's a lot of
Yeah.
events here in Las Vegas, so I like that business. That business is something I've been looking at. Luxury
Yeah.
event toilets, right?
Makes
That
sense.
it's not sexy, but look, if you had one and you were had it rented out for at $1,000, 15 or 20 days out of the month, that's 15 or 20 in revenue. Your debt and your liability insurance, you're cash flowing pretty well. So definitely exploring it, seeing what the competition looks like. I like that business a lot.
Yeah. I think really what's important to me and really what came from that conversation with Omar is what I want people to realize is you probably have something that already lights you on fire, right? Meaning you're excited, it's a hobby, it's interest. And if you can wrap a small business around it and a brand, there are so many things that could become side hustles. I mean, just talking about myself, obviously, I have a YouTube channel. I just shared today on the financial news that my channel made $57,000. That's net to me. That's not before you, that's after YouTube cut. I've written 2 books, almost 2 grand a month average from book sales, courses, sponsor an event. There's just so many things you could do when you find something that you enjoy and like, something that doesn't feel like work and will just grow, right? And I just wish I had started this a decade ago when I was still employed, right? I couldn't do 5 videos a day, but I could do 1. And if I had done that starting in 2015, where I would be today would be so different. And more importantly, a lot of the dream for a W-2 employee is to be, is retirement. Do you want to retire at 65 after working 40 years? Do you want to retire at 45 after building a side hustle and a brand? Do you want to retire at 30? Right? There's all of these other options you have. Focus, daily discipline, stacking, income streams. It's a lot of fun, but focus on one thing to begin with is my word of advice.
Yeah, no, I'll actually take that to heart because kind of what I've realized that I love to do is I love to share knowledge. And then obviously through sharing knowledge, when somebody buys a franchise or somebody gets an SBA loan, I make money. So part of what I'm doing this year is like, I'm like, okay, like what can I do? And I'm going to do a lot of virtual events. I don't
Yeah.
know if I have the drive to do a physical event, or I have the like the following yet to do a big physical event, but
Mhm.
virtual events. Like last night I did a virtual event. I had 175 people, come in. I might have spent like $50 on advertising, right? So 175 opted in. I had at 89 on the webinar, and like how many of those people are going to get a loan through me, or buy a franchise, or I can consult in some capacity? What's the lifetime value? So that's
Mhm.
where like what you just said really resonated with me, because sometimes I'm always looking for like the shiny object, like, oh well, I can do vending, I could do this, I could do that, and I'm comparing myself to everybody else and like what they're doing. But at the end of the day, what really makes you passionate and fired up? And I think like staying in your
Yes.
lane and then adding a stream of income, staying in your lane,
Yeah.
adding a stream of income is really good advice that you just gave us.
Yeah. It shouldn't feel like work. I mean, when I talk to W-2 employees, a lot of them feel like they're trapped, they're in prison. What I want to tell them is your W-2 is the tool to get out. Look at it as how you get it's the best way to get loans, especially if you're doing real estate, is a W-2. You can try things from 6 to 9, and you don't have to burn the boats. I think it's sexy to talk about burning the boats, but you know what? That is so risky. It's impossible for most people. But you know what? What if you did 2 videos a week? What and again, the key is find what you're excited about. Do you work on classic cars, Harley Davidsons, make jam, knit, homeschool your kids? I don't care what it is. There is something there. And the beauty is, if you build a tribe of 10,000 people, which is really easy to do with consistency, that will just grow with inertia going forward. It's fun to watch. As somebody who gets a note every day about changing people's lives for the better, it's easy to show up when you know the results are there. So, um, Bo, I like what you're doing. Just keep doing it.
Yes, exactly. And no, I'll never stop. That's the thing. If you never stop, you will never fail.
Yeah.
That's like the number one thing I can tell anybody is like, yeah, I wake up some days and I'm having a bad day and things aren't going right and you find out stuff. But
Yeah.
the 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 drive, I mean, what keeps you, like when you have a bad day, right? Like how do you keep yourself from doing the work, right? Like that's what people need to learn, and that's what I know you have. What
Yeah.
advice you have for somebody that like, look, you're gonna have days, and what would you give them like just to do
Well,
it?
the key to me is my goal since day one when I recorded video number one on my couch was I was trying to build something that would live for 50 years after I'm dead. It doesn't matter. Bad days, the day doesn't matter. I'm already excited for my conversations tomorrow because I always have this selfish belief that tomorrow's the day that I find a way to add value. So I just want to be better every day. I believe in momentum. I am striving for after 5 years for the same exact goal. It hasn't changed. I want something that lives 50 years after I'm dead. It's easy to show up when that's the goal.
Yeah, and actually, one of your listeners, and I'll just end here with this one is, he was watching this show, one of these episodes we did, and he called, and he was, a W-2 employee, did okay, made, 100 grand a year, something like that. Top sales guy. He did gutter sales, and he called me and said, hey, he had already found a franchise. He's like, I want to buy this franchise. It's called That One Painter, And so I did a loan for him for $115,000. He came in with a check for like 11,500, got 40 grand in working capital. And like to me, you know, there were, I don't make that much money on those deals. It's small and it's time consuming, but you know what? You get so much joy because when he said thank you so much, like, like that email back to me, like when we closed, and I'm like,
Exactly.
yes, that's what I live for. Like that, knowing that I can help people like build their own legacy. And that's what you do. And that is like that, there's no better feeling out there to be able to help people and just give them guidance and like, hey, like we're gonna learn together. We're gonna bring on
Yeah.
people like, and that's the value of like the One Rental Show is that you're constantly just look. We're here. Tune in. Learn what's going on with the economy. Learn from other real estate investors, not some guru guys that are gonna like do this and this and sell you like the shiny object syndrome. Nobody on the channel talks like that. It's all about like really just being consistent, finding your passion, and just, stacking one stone at a time. And over
There you
time,
go.
you then have 12,000 videos and you can make a living just off your AdSense. So that's awesome.
There you go, Bo. You're amazing. Somebody wanted to reach out to you, get something started. How do they do that?
Just go to onerentalmeeting.com, onerentalmeeting.com.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Thank you.